Long ago, the martial world was divided. The forces of justice and evil battled for control, but one group sought only one thing: absolute strength. They were called the demonic cult. The cult's power rested on six great clans: the sword, dark, spring, poison, blade, and sound. To maintain balance, the cult lord was bound by oath to take a wife from each clan. Their children would one day fight for the right to rule. Every 10 years, the demonic academy opened its doors, triggering the Battle of the Heirs, a brutal competition where only the strongest survived. Cheon Yo-woon was the illegitimate son, always dismissed as the weakest. But now, he has become the most dangerous variable in this ancient game. In the dark forest, Yo-woon ran for his life. His body screamed in pain. Desperate, he tripped on a root and tumbled down a steep slope, landing broken on the cold ground. Anger and despair flooded through him. The truth hit hard. He was never in control, just a puppet dancing in their palms. From the shadows, the assassins emerged. Their leader looked down at the fallen prince and mocked him coldly. "You ran far, Prince Cheon, but this is the end. You have no talent. You abandoned the academy, yet you still hold a claim to the throne. That claim makes you a target. You carry peasant blood, but your lineage commands respect. For that, your death will be painless." Rage burned inside Yo-woon. Peasant blood? How dare they dishonor his mother? They would never give him a painless death. If he was going to die, he would go down fighting. The assassin was amused. He mocked Yo-woon for having no training, yet refusing to give up. This would be a fun hunt. He ordered his men to kill him. That Yo-woon swung his dagger wildly, but the assassin easily dodged. The assassin struck Yo-woon's hand, forcing him to drop the blade. They grabbed him by the neck. But in one swift motion, Yo-woon pulled out a hidden knife and stabbed his attacker. Blood splattered as Yo-woon fell to the ground. Even wounded and broken, a grin spread across his face. The satisfaction didn't last. The remaining assassins closed in, surrounding him. One of them, rage burning in his eyes, dashed forward and drove his knee into Yo-woon's chin. Blood sprayed from his mouth. The assassin cursed, furious that the boy was still breathing. He wasn't done yet. He plunged his blade deep into Yo-woon's stomach and twisted, eliciting a choked gasp of agony. Then he ground his boot into the open wound, enjoying every second of the suffering. Inside, Yo-woon thought, killing one was lucky, but I can't trick them again. This is the end. Nearby, another assassin watched the torture with disgust. But Yo-woon had killed their comrade, so he stayed silent. The boy deserved this agonizing end. Suddenly, a brilliant flash of light erupted. In an instant, the radiance obliterated the assassin who was torturing Cheon. The clearing fell into confused silence. Through the fading glow, they saw a young man standing there, dressed in strange, modern clothes and radiating a vibrant blue aura. A sudden, heavy chill crept into their bones. The remaining assassins charged at the stranger simultaneously. The man with the blue aura merely smirked. Another flash of light tore through the darkness, instantly vaporizing two more attackers. The last remaining assassin stood frozen, trembling in shock. He looked at Cheon, who had lost a massive amount of blood and was clearly on the verge of death. The target is already dying, he thought. The mission is complete. Terrified of the stranger's power, the assassin turned and dashed into the woods. But the stranger didn't let him go. With a casual flick of his hand, a final strike of energy pursued the assassin and destroyed him instantly. Through his haze of agony, Yo-woon watched the silhouettes of his tormentors vanish. The stranger stood over him, checking a high-tech wrist device. "Shit, I plan to explain, but since you're at death's door, we have to improvise." He plunged a metallic syringe into Yo-woon's neck. "Hey, ancestor, please succeed. It'll make my future life a lot easier." Dissolving into blue light, the stranger faded away. "This is the latest 7th-generation nanomachine. Good luck." He vanished. Deep within Yo-woon's mind, a mechanical voice resonated. "Sky Corporation user verified. 7th-generation nanomachine initiating activation." Yo-woon woke up gasping for air. He was confused. He should be dead. He remembered the sharp pain of a sword piercing his stomach. But instead of bleeding out, he found his body covered in sweat and sticky black spots that smelled terrible. Suddenly, a strange voice spoke directly inside his head. "Are you awake, master?" Yeo-woon looked around the empty room. Telepathy? The voice corrected him immediately. "I am connected directly to your neural network. I am the 7th generation nano machine." Yeo-woon had never heard of such technology. He misheard machine as the word for evil god. He trembled in terror, believing the dark deity worshipped by the demonic cult had possessed him. Outside the room, the situation was tense. Gar Jang was leading Dr. Beck to the prince's quarters. Jang could hardly believe Yeo-woon was still breathing. There had been a brutal assassination attempt the night before. Jang recalled the gruesome scene. Headless corpses of assassins scattered on the ground, a dagger buried in a man's skull. Amidst the blood, Yeo-woon had been found sleeping soundly. His clothes were torn to shreds by swords, but his skin didn't have a single scratch. It was a miracle. Back inside, Yeo-woon asked the mysterious voice if it had saved his life. The entity explained that it had put his dying body into self-healing mode. It then offered to transfer its user manual directly into his brain. Yeo-woon agreed. Instantly, a shock wave of pain hit him. He doubled over and vomited on the floor. The voice explained this was a natural reaction to loading data into the brain. Then came the shocking truth. Over 6 billion tiny machines were now embedded inside Yeo-woon's body. They could not be removed unless he died. Yeo-woon realized his half-brothers had failed to kill him. But now he was stuck with this unknown power and a knock sounded at the door. "Dr. Beck." Yeo-woon panicked, not wanting to look crazy by talking to himself. He ordered the machine to be quiet. It confirmed it would enter silent mode. The doctor entered and immediately noticed the foul odor. He grabbed Yeo-woon's wrist to check his pulse. His eyes went wide with shock. "This isn't a sickness," the doctor said. "It's a rare opportunity." He explained that Yeo-woon's body had been completely cleansed. The sticky black spots were actually waste and toxins forced out of his system. His energy flow had been fully activated. The doctor declared that Yeo-woon now possessed the perfect body for martial arts training. Yeo-woon realized the truth. The machine hadn't just healed him, it had optimized him. He mentally commanded the machine to speak again. It confirmed that it had extracted all impurities and reshaped his muscles, joints, and blood vessels to perfection. Yeo-woon asked one last time, "Are you sure you're not an evil god?" The voice replied calmly, "I'm not an evil god. I am a machine master." When Dr. Beck examined the prince, he was completely baffled. He found nothing wrong and simply prescribed an energy tonic. As the doctor left, he thought about how incredibly strange this was. He remembered the prince as a weak boy with no martial arts skills, someone doomed to be pushed out of the ranks. But now, the prince's body was in perfect condition. Beck realized the boy could probably learn martial arts better than any of the other royal heirs. He wrongly assumed the lord had been secretly protecting him. Inside the room, Yeo-woon was just glad the doctor hadn't discovered his secret. He thanked Gar Jang for saving his life earlier. Jang awkwardly pinched his nose and pointed out that the prince smelled terrible and really needed to wash up first. Yeo-woon wholeheartedly agreed. In the bath, Yeo-woon asked Nano about its self-healing mode. Nano explained that it could quickly heal any internal or external wound caused by impact. However, major injuries like heavy blood loss or a severed limb required much longer because they involved complex cell division. The heavy scientific explanation completely confused the prince. He decided it was better to simply test the power himself. He grabbed a sharp knife and sliced his own hand, instantly feeling the sharp pain. Nano immediately activated self-healing mode. The bleeding stopped, and the cut closed up before his very eyes. The prince was amazed. All of Nano's crazy functions actually worked. That he also noticed something else. His previously weak, skinny body was now packed with lean, toned muscles. Nano revealed it had completely reconstructed his physical form to make him stronger. Fresh out of the bath, the prince went straight to his study. He wanted to get stronger immediately, but he only had one basic book about blood points and chi. Nano instructed him to simply flip through the pages. The prince rapidly flipped through the book, and Nano scanned the entire thing in seconds. Nano then offered to transfer the information directly into the prince's brain. Yeo-woon accepted. A massive shock of electricity hit his head, causing him serious pain. But when the pain faded, he realized he had completely memorized the book. Even better, Nano had used its advanced programming to correct all the errors in the old text. The prince realized he could now understand and master martial arts faster than anyone else in the world. Even though the other clan heirs had trained since birth, he now had the ultimate cheat code. Standing tall, he declared his new goal. He would use this power to become the absolute strongest fighter in the demonic academy. Meanwhile, across the compound, Prince Mukium was throwing a massive fit. He was the one who had sent 5 assassins to eliminate Yeo-woon. Now, he had just discovered that all 5 of his trained men were dead. Mukium refused to believe the weak, low-blood prince had survived on his own. He suspected someone powerful, maybe even the Lord himself, was secretly protecting Yeo-woon. Furious and out of options, Mukium clenched his fist with an evil grin.